Hey all, welcome to today's channel chat. This is part of a series we're doing on hot button issues in MMOs, in which we're trying to round up a bunch of different perspectives. And joining us today is the one and only SaltEMike. Thanks for joining us today, man. I'm so excited you're here. What's up? How you been?
Good, good. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Lots of well, not scary topics, but definitely some polarizing ones, at least in the Star Citizen community on our list for sure. Excited.
Nice. That is the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole reason for this series is I've had these topics like on my things to do a video about list for quite a while, but the more I thought about it,
Mm.
the more I was just like, I couldn't do these fiery topics justice just by talking into a camera. I needed other folks, other opinions, hopefully different ones to
Yeah.
join in. And I thought of you. You don't shy away from sharing opinions on tough topics. It was very cool that you were like, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, why not? Of course. As I said before this, there's no off limits topics for me. I'll talk about anything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so for some context, that would be helpful to know before we dig into the tough questions. Like, what's your arc through gaming look like? I know you try to play a lot of Star Citizen, maybe some Eve, and that's
Yeah.
about all I know. Any other MMOs?
Uh MMOs, not really, just a little Albion Online for a while when that first came out, and like a little bit now because it's very similar to Eve, and I'm playing a lot of Eve. And I've always preferred. I my main game that I started with was Ultima Online. As far as MMOs go, I gaming wise, it was Nintendo, and I went all the way back. But the uh, the main MMO I played was for 17 years, Ultima Online, and I prefer like I know a lot of people go into SC because of space and space games. I prefer kind of the fantasy mages and knights kind of games, and Albion fits that a lot more while still being very similar to Eve Online. So uh, that's kind of my resume. Was 17 years in UO, found Star Citizen on a UO forum, and kind of everything happened from there. Yeah, and then just found Twitch, obviously, through my brother actually, and he was big into StarCraft. So then now we're here and talking about MMOs and why so many of the things in Star Citizen just don't make sense to me from my experiences in these other games that were just so good and so impactful in my life and my gaming life at least. Yeah, I just a lot of time in UO. A lot of time. Too much time. It's kind of how I became a content creator slash poker dealer before that. Took up a little too much time in college and high school. Wasn't wasn't a great student. I might have been writing like to-do lists of what I need to do in Ultima Online in the middle of class in high school. I can remember doing that. It's like, all right, I got to do this skill and then I got to do that.
Wow.
But never did my homework.
So you did some content on UO?
I actually started streaming with UO.
No kidding.
I don't think there are highlights or VODs or anything like that anymore because Twitch had this weird thing where they asked us to kind of like delete everything like 5 years ago, something like that, for like DMCA reasons. So I don't have any of like the clips from that. But yeah, I started with that, but very quickly jumped into Star Citizen because it was just so different as far as like games on Twitch and stuff like that. It was just so out of this world, right? In terms of ideas and ambition and all that stuff. So people ended up stopping by more, and streaming is definitely about the interaction with people, right? So it's like I jumped right into streaming that and kind of never stopped. And people often ask why I still stream Star Citizen if it seems like I hate it so much, which I definitely don't. The reason is because streaming it is so fun. It's the conversations are so good, and the community, as far as the Twitch streaming community, is fantastic. I love it.
That's wild. You're spot on. Like a lot of the people that I know that jumped into Star Citizen joined it because it was a space game or because it was an FPS game. Very few people I know jumped into Star Citizen because it was an MMO. But it sounds like the MMO
Correct.
thread is kind of what drew you to it.
I just it was more like I was never sure how much of an MMO it would look like,
Mhm.
but the opportunity to be a really good one is there.
Yeah.
And it was always like that's where a lot of the discussions on all my various channels, I guess, would stem from is like just look around you, look at the opportunity they have here. Why aren't they jumping on this as much? Why is it more a ship based thing instead of how we interact with each other or what how the economy is or whatever, right? And that was always like, I don't get it. It's right there. It's right in front of them. How could they not see it? And it sounds like they are seeing it based on like CitizenCon 2023 and 2024 that they're more getting it the idea of like, yeah, we could do these things and it would be really cool. But none of that stuff was ever super like promised to I hate to use that word. So people use it against them all the time, but none of that stuff was like super guaranteed ever. Like crafting, there were forum posts from Chris Roberts saying we're never doing crafting in the
Really?
early days. Yeah. And I'm
Wow.
sitting here going, how can you not do crafting, sir? How? How can you have this and not do that? It makes no sense. And then, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe he comes on camera. There was like a video called Proof of Life. And because he was like never around. And he was like, yeah, I'm still here. And like he had mentioned Valheim crafting was like something that he liked and that he wanted to do. And I was just like, see, I told you, everyone. Like, you have to do this. You can't not do it. And that's just, yeah, that's been the whole basis of my excitement for the game is just look at this opportunity you have. It's so good. Don't screw it up. And we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, similar reasons here. I mean, I've been an MMO player my entire life, and it was that thread that drew me in. I ignored Star Citizen for the longest time. Like I ignored the Kickstarter, had no interest. It wasn't until like around 3.17 that a friend of mine, we were playing another MMO together, and he was like, "Man, you just got to come see this." I'm like, "Fine." He's like, "Just download it. We'll go in." I'm like, "Fine." I went in, and the moment I was in there, I was like, "Holy shit! This could be like the
Yep.
MMO I've been waiting for." But and so I guess
Yep.
my assumption always was that they were going to do all the MMO things. So it's surprising whenever I hear things like, "Yeah, they were really intending to."
Yeah, like early on it was weird. He said yes to everything, but to a lot of like typical MMO things, there was a lot of that stuff like left off the list, literally said no to, and it was surprising. And I was like, no, it'll happen. I was always like confident that it would happen because I just couldn't see how you like do all these like interaction things and then just don't have people crafting stuff like
Yeah.
which is just such a staple or PvP or dungeons or instances. Like there's lots of arguments for years that I've had with people on podcasts or whatever of like we're gonna have these things. We have to have these things. No, no, no. We'll never have them. Okay, sure, but
Makes me
I don't see how you don't.
Yeah, it makes me wonder like what the original plan for a game
I
with
mean,
longevity was, because I can't even imagine playing an MMO without those things and having something that kept you playing.
I it's either there wasn't one or it was more like Second Life because they there's before you came, I think, because you said 317, there was like these eras of their communication of this is the best damn space sim ever. This is the best damn universe sim ever was what they would say. And then it would change to then it changed to game and then MMO and then they were always the plans changed over time, multiple times for sure. I don't know what the initial plan was, if there was at all. I think it was very much like a Squadron 42 focused thing, and this multiplayer thing would be extra or icing on the cake if they could do it. But like he wanted to make Wing Commander next for sure. You
Yeah.
know, that's just how I saw it.
Yeah. Hmm.
But
Cool.
yeah,
Good
there's just so
background.
much information. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like you can't keep up with all of it. I'm sure I'm missing something there, but Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like try to remember 13 years of videos and chats and messages. It's impossible. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how it was, but it's been a long time.
That's some really good background as we dig into these hot buttons. The first one I wanted to ask you about was group play versus solo play. This
Mhm.
is always sure to get people fired up. You have the two
Yep.
extremes, like, hey, we want really tough content locked behind large numbers of players, or the other side, which is like, I play by myself, but I've invested into this project, and everything should be accessible to me. Where do you fall in this?
Both. Why not both? Like,
Yeah,
if you've ever played an MMO, you know that you spend a good amount of your time solo, grinding levels, or maybe getting a key for a dungeon that you're going to do with your friends later, or any assortment of things. Crafting is often done solo. Resource gathering is often done solo in MMOs, right? So there's tons of content that you can and should be able to do solo, and then there's some content that you absolutely should not, right? And then that's the whole point. Is it's not the point isn't keeping content away from you. The point is giving you different experiences, whether those experiences are by yourself or with a group of people that you might have to talk to. Oh my god. Right? I may not seem it when I'm on camera or whatever, but in real life I'm the very socially awkward person. I don't like interacting with people that much. Or I've been playing played hockey for a long time, and I joined a new team this year. I don't know anyone's name. I still haven't introduced myself, and it's game 6, right? Like, that's
okay.
just like I just come in and like, "What's up, guys?" And that's it. And, it's like I'm too shy to even say, but you still, so, like, I get it for some people that don't wanna do that stuff, but it's also really rewarding when you do. It can be, right? And then you don't have to do it if you don't want to. A good MMO goes, okay, you don't have to do that content, but you can get and receive the rewards from that content by buying them from the players who do, right? And I'm sure we'll go into other stuff and other examples later in the show about these things. Like, you're not being kept out of anything outside of the experience. And if you don't want to experience a multifaceted or group thing, then you don't have to, but you can still get the reward from it, so
Yeah.
long as the game allows you to transfer those things to each other, right? So, and I think this game will. I don't see anything that's keeping that from happening where other games have the mechanics where um it's like account bound stuff, right? So yeah, just why not both? It just, yeah, that's like, it's silly to even argue one or the other, because then you just alienate an entire experience and group of people. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah. How do you tend to play?
Solo.
Yeah.
Solo. I mean, if you're playing Star Citizen, and maybe that's the reason why people argue about it so much, is the grouping up experience in the game is so horrible because of the, all right, I got to get on a tram, I got to do this, I got to do that, the party system isn't great, quantum travel takes forever if I'm in Pyro, but I got to meet my friend in Stanton. It's like, all right, I'll see you in 20 minutes. It's like, okay, well, half the play session is done already,
Yeah.
right? So it's not that, I think that's where that argument likely stems from for a lot of people. And again, that's a lot of the commentary that I have on the game is like, open your eyes, guys. Like, it's right in front of you. Your incessant need to like have immersion is breaking the experience for the average player all the time of just having fun. And
Yeah.
it's like you got to have some give and take there. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from. It's just frustrations about things like that,
Yeah.
and not really solo versus group. It's like, just, it's a pain in this game to play in a group. So I'm almost always playing solo. Like, I've done 2 event pass solo on this new event thing, and I'm working on the 3rd, and I'll do the 4th, most likely solo. But yeah, but when I play Eve, it's mostly in small gang PvP, or we're at war, so big battles and stuff like that. So it's the opposite because it's easier to just jump in and play in a group
Yeah.
there. So yeah.
You're actively playing Eve right now?
Well, not right this second, but I
Well, no,
was
I mean,
20 minutes ago. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, for
I don't know.
sure.
You could be. I mean, you could be. You have a mining going on your other monitor while you're
That's
doing
true. I
this.
could just be AFK, but I'm not. I'm not. But
um,
yeah, no, that actively playing, yeah. Very
cool.
seriously playing, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm finally getting into it, yeah.
I
I'm addicted, I love it.
is this your first time?
Yeah, well, technically, no. So I had a sponsorship for EVE, like, a year and a half ago, 2
Hmm.
years ago, and I was like, "Whoa, this is dangerous." Like, I'm trying to grow my Twitch channel, my YouTube, and focus on that stuff, and this is too good that I think I will stop playing altogether, Star Citizen, and now I don't feel that way at all. I can mix in both, and, um, yeah, it's my first time really jumping into it, but it's been, like, 6 months, but I've been blown away with just how simple but complex it can be, right? And it's I love it. So cool.
Very cool. We'll probably
Yeah.
talk about that more later. On
Sure.
the group thing, I couldn't agree. We have this, so in our group we group up a lot, or we try to,
Okay.
and we have like
Yeah.
this law of like the larger the group gets, the more likely that any one person is going to get some game breaking bug and disrupt the whole thing.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yep, absolutely. It can be brutal. But it's like I'm in an organ stuff too, and we do a lot of that, but our uh like we just like if you get left behind, you just get left behind. Catch up because like you want to be like for so long we want it to be nice and just wait for that person. But then you end up realizing that it's like it's been 2 hours and we haven't done anything yet because after that guy gets back, the next guy gets a bug, and it's like it's just the game's not in a place where you could do that just yet. So we all just play and you catch up as you go, and we're all in voice chat together, so we're all in it together. You might not be on the screen with us, but that's okay. So that's more what it is, kinda just a group Discord call with the Star Citizen in the background. I don't how is it for you guys? Do you have, like, goals that you set out to do?
yeah, we kind of just make our own goals.
Mhm.
It could be mining. I mean, it's usually just some kind of a loop we want to gain experience with. That's our whole thing. It's just gaining experience with the different loops, and so yeah,
Yep.
we'll set some goals, and um, we've just kind of transitioned to the model where you're talking about, where it's like, okay, we
Mhm.
got to get better at leaving people behind because
Yeah, you
um,
wanna be nice,
I
but
know
it's hard.
the instinct is like, oh, yeah, but it doesn't work.
Yeah,
On this
yeah.
thread of group play, a lot of the discussions are often around ships. What about the solo player that buys a javelin?
I don't understand it. I don't get it. The how about the one who bought an Idris and now has a giant space laser that, you can't kill them or they're very hard to kill, and, now they could just start laser like, it's just very interesting. Interesting, like, it's a weird I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know how the pilot of an Idris should be able to use that thing is beyond me. I would put a little gimbal on it and allow the co-pilot to use it, and at
Yeah,
least make it a two-person ship.
yeah,
Um, I get these guys spent so much money, and they should be able to look at the screen and feel as cool or as excited as they want, but at some point, it's like, "This makes no sense," and that one made no sense. I don't think the Javelin has any sort of weapons like that yet, but, yeah, the Idris is a really good example of it's not a solo ship,
yeah.
but they made it one. So, I don't yeah, it's weird. But multi-crew should be like, should you be able to fly the Idris solo? Yes. Why not? It's got a pilot seat. Who cares? Of course. But you shouldn't be able to I feel like you shouldn't just be able to, like, easily do bounties in it, like the highest level bounties or something, and you can now. It's a weird one. We'll see what happens with engineering. Everyone's looking at engineering like that's somehow gonna save it. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, what do you think about it? I'm curious.
I'm very pro multi crew, and I
Yeah.
get concerned about anything that works against it. Another concerning trend from my perspective, which is kind of like the javelin and its laser, is just this trend towards making all of these different ships have guns that used to require multi-crew, be like have this mode where it can be under the command of the pilot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because some of the ships that they've done these things with, I was like all for, and I feel like it makes sense. Like the Caterpillar or the of Corsair. Corsair like went back and forth like with what guns they were going to let them have.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes a lot of sense to have a really good solo PvE ship that can do bounties, kill other ships, things like that. Because that is definitely a loop in MMOs, right? Where you just kill mobs and loot them or whatever, and you should be able to do that type of content solo. But when it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger and like basically impossible to die, it's that's when it starts getting weird for me. But like I'm okay with things like the Corsair or the Connie. I don't know what other ships would be under that for you. I think they did it with not the Asgard, but the baby Asgard, the Valkyrie. They did it with. They gave that guns.
That was one of the ones I was thinking
The
of. Yeah.
C2 got guns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's a little odd.
What about the A2? I haven't been on that.
I think all of the
Yeah.
the Hercules, you're able to fire like forward or an extra set of guns or something.
Yeah, that one feels weird because the A2 is such a massive multi-crew ship. It used to, like, we used to consider that kind of on par with the what's that turret platform?
Turret platform ship.
Yeah, ship that has
not the Redeemer. Redeemer?
No, the big one with like the 6 turrets all the way around the thing.
6 turrets. Why am I not knowing this? Ships are not my forte with this game.
Yeah,
I fly like
I'm
2
drawing
of them.
total blank, but anyway, like the A2 was kind of in
Somebody
that
in the
class.
comments will tell us.
Yeah, there you go. So to put all that firepower in the hands of the A2 pilot feels a little strange because I don't think
the Hammerhead.
The Hammerhead. That's what I was trying to think
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. Somebody already wrote a comment. Sorry, dude, for wasting your time. But the Hammerhead and stuff, like but is multi-crew just sitting in turrets?
No,
Because that's
not.
I think that's the other like group play versus solo thing is for right now, what is group play?
Yeah.
Sitting in a turret, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like sitting in turret. Well, I'd rather sit in a turret than fly a ship.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. But I don't like sitting in turrets either. So it's like group play has started to get cool. Have you guys done mining with moving mining bags and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's where it's like, ooh, all right. Now this feels like group play. This feels like multi-crew. There's multiple roles, they're all meaningful, and if one of them breaks, the whole thing breaks. And it's not like you're just sitting in a turret and hoping to get more DPS on a target, right? It's just has so much more to it. And yeah, I think when you give feedback to these guys, it's like that's cool.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. You don't have to make everything like mining, but just understand that that's what was cool. And sitting in a turret, not that cool, you know? And again, I think that's another reason why people get bummed out about group plays because it's not that exciting for them. And if it only happens in mining and they don't like mining, then what?
Yeah. I'm hoping by
Right?
the time like all the stuff comes into like with engineering and atmosphere and all that stuff, I'm hoping that it starts to feel more like even before the mining changes, we had been doing kind of that gameplay with salvage. Like we used to take out a bunch of salvage ships and cargo ships and move the stuff. Love that, and now mining's starting to feel like that, and all of that reminds me of like our big mining operations in Eve. I was an Eve player back in the day.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I love it. I love that direction.
Yeah, mining ops are cool. If did you play in Eve when there was compression? Was there always compression?
Maybe I didn't get advanced enough to know what that is, but that doesn't ring a bell.
It's like you just right click on the ore, and then if there's like this really big ship with you, called a Rorqual or something, and I think another ship can do it as well. They have a special like boost that they can allow you to compress your ore. So something that would be like 1,000 meters cubed, you can turn into 100 meters cubed. So you could stay on the field longer, and then compressed ore acts exactly the same as unrefined ore, and then you just refine it. So it's like one of the discussions I've been having a lot recently about mining is mining's cool, but man, I feel like the amount of cargo we hold in all the mining ships could like quadruple, and we'd still be okay because you spend way more time scanning than you do mining. And it's like I just want to mine. I just want to just keep filling up my cargo hold and not have to go back and refine all the time. And I'm sure they'll find a balance of like what makes sense, but I would love to see some compression type thing of like, yeah, it was 8 SCU, now it's 0.8 SCU, and you just keep going.
I could not agree more on the scanning thing. I've been
Oh, it's
saying
brutal.
this is probably way too dreamy pie in the sky, but like one of the things I loved about Eve was like we would get a big group together, we would go out to a belt, and we would spend some time there crushing that belt. And
Yep.
in Star Citizen, it feels like I scan a rock, I bust the rock, then I scan another rock, and I bust the rock, and then
And
there's
they're
so
so
much
far
travel
from
and
each other.
scanning. Huh?
Yeah, they're so far from each other.
Yeah, like I wish there was like concentrations, like you could scan a planetary surface, find like a rich area, and you spend some time, like
Yep.
you set up a mining camp and you just spend time there. I wish it was something.
I think we're gonna get there. So if you know anyone wants to take the time to go look at back at CitizenCon 2024 again during like the crafting thing, Torsten, one of the devs in the UK or Germany, I'm not sure where he is right now, talked about what they're going to do with mining, and what they're going to do is very similar to what we had in or what we have in Eve. Now, I hope they do one additional thing. We have a lot of mining belts in Pyro and Stanton now, where I would love if certain ones were dedicated to more dedicated at least to certain ores, and then you can go to those,
Yeah,
and so you're not scanning. You know it's going to be that for the most part.
yeah.
And they said that each rock is only going to have one material in it now. That's it. So now, when you come up to a field of 10 rocks, it's just going to be that material, is my guess. So now it's like, all right, my 96 SU and my mole is going to get filled up with the one material that I might be looking for. And again, if they do crafting and they do it really well, which I think they will based on everything we've heard, um, you're not going to care to just get the one most valuable ore anymore. You're going to get the ore that's valuable to you because you want to turn it into something or somebody else does. And yeah. So, I mean, even in Eve, people skip certain ores because they're not worth their time, but um, a lot less so than what we do in Star Citizen. We choose one ore and we skip everything else, and that's not the best.
Yeah.
So
Agree
I love
more.
mining though. I think it's going to
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah, I'm an industrialist. I mean, everything industry is I love.
Same. Yeah, we'll be competition, or who knows? Maybe we'll become allies one day. But
Maybe.
yeah, that's all I'm into in MMOs ever. Maybe when we talked about that, I should have mentioned that. I always start with industry type stuff, crafting and
Hmm.
all that, and when I get bored, then I'm a filthy red PvPer,
Oh,
murderer
really?
hobo or whatever. Yep. Once I
Nice.
get bored of that, then that's when I start PvPing.
All right, that'll be a good segue into another one. But
Perfect.
yeah, same way here. I even New World, like I don't know if you ever
Yep.
played that game. I played New World
Yes, I
for
did. Yes, I
quite a
did. Yeah,
while, and
twice.
even there, like I focused on before they linked the trade hubs, like in the very beginning. Like I was the market guy running between towns trying to buy low, sell
Nice.
high, and
Yep.
I focused first on my crafting skills, and then I tried to dominate the markets on that. And so yeah,
It lost me when I like grinded for artifacts,
yeah,
and that they were you couldn't sell them to players. I was just like,
I
what?
know,
So
I know,
I get this thing once, I never lose it,
I know.
and what? So why am I playing anymore? And I just stopped. I was bored.
That's when I quit too. I went the total
Yeah,
wrong direction on industry.
I achieved when when you make a game that you can do like this is the type of the direction that MMOs are going that I absolutely can't stand. When you make a game where you have one character and they can be whatever they want whenever they want and you never need anyone else. Why call it an MMO? It should be called something else. Cuz it makes no sense. You do everything alone and you
Yeah,
never need to rely on anyone else. It's crazy to me. I never the beauty of MMOs was always, man, there's so many things to do. I don't have enough skills to do them or like enough stat cap that would allow me, or I don't have enough time. So let me outsource some of the things that I can't do or don't want to do to someone else. And that someone else would be so happy to do that for you.
Yeah.
It's everything that they want to do in the world is help you at this thing. And then same vice versa for other things, right? And it's just like New World was again a lot of potential, and they dropped the ball on that one. I think pretty hard.
I really do. Speaking
Yeah.
of doing everything by yourself, what's your thoughts on NPC crew and AI blades?
I mean, all you have to do is look at PDCs right now and go, I don't like the idea of offensive turrets just doing your job for you. It seems really broken. I'll give the best example right now. I can easily complete the event by taking out a Polaris or an Idris, standing right above the ship to pull off the cargo from. I think it's called Retrieve Mission, and you take no damage because it can't. Nothing can hurt you. You pull all the cargo off, put it in your cargo grid, abandon the mission, and leave. Rinse, repeat. Funny story. I forgot to set my spawn on my Polaris yesterday, 2 days ago. Yesterday. And somebody was either watching me, so they knew what I was doing, or they knew other players were doing this and waited at this spot. They boarded my Polaris. I turned around and it's just flying away. And he got 900 SCU for the event. It was awesome. Like good for him. I screwed up. I didn't set my spawn on the ship, so I couldn't defend it. And yeah, I watched him go to Grimhex. He did even another smart thing. So for anybody who's thinking about doing this, he never landed the ship. He kept it floating. So when I got the Grimhex, I couldn't hit store to keep the ship. It just
Oh,
so he just took all the cargo off with it floating, and then it was all his. So
wow.
he won that one. He deserved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sucked. 900 SCU progress down the drain.
Oh man.
So
Well
yep,
played.
yep. It is what it is.
Yeah. Um, yeah. We
No, I,
talk.
I mean AI Blaze and stuff. I NPC crew maybe. I mean they said it has to be less good than a player. I mean fighting against NPCs now, that's how it is. But uh, I'd rather it just be as player crude as possible.
Yeah.
It just comes down to the discussion we had before of solo versus group, what we want multi crew to be, and it gets weird when one player can do everything, and they
Yeah.
just shouldn't be able to necessarily.
My big concern, I've said this a lot, but it is, one of the things that excites me about Star Citizen, whenever I think back to my Eve days, is multi-crew. And
Yeah.
the thing that the ship you're flying is this huge interactable object, and it's not just an icon on the screen like it is in Eve, which is cool, but in Eve, you get in like, and I'm also thinking about the massive battles in Eve, and I'm thinking about how they might transpire in Star Citizen, and in an Eve Online, a ship was a player. In Star Citizen, I'm worried that if we move to like AI blades and NPC crew, that the meta will shift to be
To
one
more
player per
ships.
ship. Yeah, more ships.
Yep. And then how do you the balance starts to break. It's not as fun, and your frame rate. There's no way a game like this that our clients can handle that many
Hmm.
ships on the screen. Just go look at the Daymar rally, right? Like no one's shooting guns and or anything like that even in there, right? To add that extra wrinkle, damage and shields and all this extra stuff. Um, yeah, I just that's a really good point that I never thought of. Is like we're going to end up if we do it this way, there's going to be more ships on the field, and the experience will just get less good. I feel like I don't know how many times you or any of your listeners have experienced like truly multi-crew PvP battles in the game right now. They're pretty cool.
They're very
They're
cool.
yeah, like I got a clip sent to me the other day of a player who was in a single seater ship, like a Hornet or something. But there was like they were involved in a big battle, Idris versus Idris, or a few of them there, and it looked like Star Wars, man. And it's like, yeah, that's why we're here.
Exactly.
Like, that's why we're here for this game is, like, it looks like Star Wars is basically what you're trying to go for. It looks like insert, sci-fi thing that you've experienced, whether it's a movie, a TV show, another game, or whatever. Star Citizen seems to be pulling on a lot of those heartstrings for us, and yeah, the more it becomes a solo experience, the less you get that. The chaos of it, is important, I think, and it's so cool. But but solo versus group play, there's gonna be more solo players than there are gonna be group players, and you have to provide content for the solo player, but the solo player has to understand that not all the content could possibly be for them. And group players, solo play content type of stuff should be boring and horrible and inefficient, maybe, to do.
Yeah.
Like, I was just doing a thing in Eve. I don't know if you had Abyssal Dead Space in Eve when you played?
Mm.
Okay, it's an instance dungeon. It got a lot of criticism, and it's mostly a solo experience. And I go in to a there's, like, 3 different versions of them. You can go in with a frigate, which is like a single-seater small ship. Or you can go in with, I don't know, bigger ships. I can't remember the other ones. But you can bring up to 3 frigates with you in the frigate one. But if I brought you and another friend, the amount of money we would make would not be worth it. It makes no sense for us 3 to go and play for ISK per hour. ISK is the in-game credits for people who don't know Eve. Um, it makes no sense. So you go in and you fit out a ship that can do it 1 person, 1 ship, that's it. And, yeah, the experience is great, and that's okay, right? And that's, like, the kinda give and take I feel like you have to have, but I don't know. It's like, I don't want AI blades, I don't want AI crew, but I feel like, within reason, I think it can enhance the experience for players that deserve to have that experience enhanced, right? It's gotta be within reason, and when has CIG done anything within reason, right? Again, we have an Idris with a giant laser beam on it, so I
I
don't know.
know Eve had problems, many problems that they introduced solutions to. I remember when their biggest Titan ships were taken out by a bunch of little ships, and they added weapons to the Titans or whatever that would pulse and take out a lot of small ships. And I'm hoping
Yep.
whenever it comes to AI blades, especially AI blades, that maybe they give us EMP weapons that just knock out AI blades. And there you go.
Yeah,
That's how you
they're
solve big conflicts.
easy, yeah, like, there's an easy counter for it or something.
Yeah.
It's very easy to put on AI blades, it should be fairly easy to counter them then,
Yeah.
but you have to come prepared for that counter or know that that's what's coming. If you don't know that that's what's coming, maybe they have an advantage using those or something. It's if there's a little cat and mouse, I think, yeah, that's a really totally fine way of looking at it, as long as it's I guess the word would be balanced,
Yeah.
right? And as long as it is, then we'll be okay. You can do whatever you want as long as nothing is out of control.
Yeah.
And I mean, some things feel a little out of control right now.
Yeah. Fun multi-crew story. We were over Hathor a couple weeks ago now, and we got into a. We were flying an Idris, but it was fully crewed, and
Yeah.
we came up against two Idrises and a Polaris. They were all single or duo crewed,
Okay.
and we ended up winning this conflict just because of our fully crewed stature. We even had people take off in one of the little ships that we had in the hangar of the Idris. They took off because we were focusing our fire on one of the Idris's like front door or
The
something.
base?
And, yeah, we knocked it
Yeah.
open. They flew in there, took out the crew, and activated self-destruct on the Idris.
Hell yeah. That's so awesome.
That's the kind of stuff I live for.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And it shows that a fully crewed ship is better than a single, right? In that case. So
Definitely.
balanced, maybe?
Hope so. You mentioned about being a red-blooded PvPer once you got bored.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on this hot button issue on forums? Because there's always that raging PvE versus PvP debate, and a lot of times it'll flare to the point where people are like, "We need PvE servers."
Yes, you do actually. But like not the entire server. It's again, we're talking a lot about Eve, but Ultima Online did this. I think New World's done a lot of this. Albion does this. I think Albion does it better than any of the games that I've played. Is you have places that are safe and they have very like low level mobs, low level ore, low level wood, things like that. But all of those things are incredibly important to the in-game economy. So like the people that are there are incredibly impactful, incredibly important. When you're there on day one, you're doing something meaningful. Same thing with Eve Online. The ore that's in high sec is in literally like every ship build there is, Tritanium or whatever, right? And most of them, not all of them, but yeah. And you can't get killed there. You can't get looted there. You can't get PvP'd there. You just get to get your feet wet and experience the game. And if you want to do things, a lot of this PvE versus PvP thing has come from um like back in the day, it was content creators like just trying to figure out something interesting to do because the game was so far from where it is now that it was boring, right? Like really boring. So it was like people were trying to create events and do things that were interesting, and it just wasn't. And they weren't able to because they were just constantly getting attacked by other players because now for that other player who was bored, this was their interesting thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of this stuff spawns from is like I just want to be left alone. Yeah, technically, yeah, I agree with you. You should be able to be left alone. Stanton, Terra, some of these places, that's how it should be. And they talked about that again at CitizenCon 2024 that they like get this is the highest value stuff is going to be in Pyro. And you're just going to have to suck it up if you want that, or you grind it out in the low level area, make as much money as you can. You'll be less efficient than somebody doing it in Pyro. And then you buy the stuff from the people who are willing to take the risk. And then you can go do the content you like with the better quantum drive or better shield or guns or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, for just same as group and solo play, PvE versus PvP, why not both?
Yeah.
It's an MMO. Why not both? Like both things can exist. You don't have to participate. The problem is right now is they make it impossible, almost impossible to avoid. And you shouldn't be able to avoid it entirely. But you should be enticed to go to those areas where it is. You should want to go to those areas. They should be desirable, but you don't have to. Is how I've always felt. I don't know.
I really like the incentivization model.
Yeah.
Dune Awakening just came out. I've been playing that a little bit, and they kind of do that where, like, spice from Dune is all behind PvP areas, and
I
think that works
didn't
well.
play it. What you think it was good because people complained a lot about it,
Oh
but it's
well,
like
in theory, it's good. I mean, the problem with Dune is that the PvP mechanics are actually pretty bad.
yeah. I also felt like the beginning, the entire start or like beginning and middle game is all PvE, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden they're like, yo, by the way, new game,
Yeah.
plus it's PvP. It's like
Yeah.
it's kind of is maybe a bit of a shock to
Yep.
players,
Yep.
and I don't know, maybe that's a good example of like if you're going to do this in Star Citizen, it can't be a shock.
Yeah.
It's got to be gradual.
Yeah.
Again, Albion does that as well. There's blue, yellow, red, and black zones. Blue, no PvP, low level loot. Yellow, higher level loot. I think you can get PvP'd, but nobody can loot you. Red, higher level loot, PvP, full loot or almost full loot, and black is just full loot. Like it just works.
Hmm.
It just worked perfectly because you just know what you're getting when you go in the zone. You literally sign on the dotted line when you switch into that zone.
Yeah.
And it just works. I don't know why you would want any other way. So CIG seems like they're going somewhat in that direction. We know base building, nobody can destroy your base in Stanton, but you're fully able to be destroyed in Pyro. It just depends on their implementation now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that model as well. I've never played Albion Online. That sounds even more sophisticated than Eve, but I always liked Eve's model, which is
Yeah.
where I hoped. That's the direction I hope it starts.
I feel like Eve is a little bit too hardcore for the Star Citizen player because you can get killed in high sec.
Yeah.
But it can't work if players it can't work with the insurance system that we have in the game. Is if a pirate and the player both don't lose the value of their ship, then you end up in a situation with like, okay, I'm in a really big ship and it's super valuable and I have a ton of good cargo on there and it has a ton of HP. Like in Eve, those guys fly around high sec a lot and kind of get away with it. And then occasionally someone goes, this is worth my time and effort, and get a bunch of ships and go kill it. Now, for people who don't know Eve, those ships are going to die.
Yeah.
So it's a mathematical equation of I'm going to lose 5 billion credits killing this ship that's worth 6 billion, and I'm going to make 1 billion credits when I kill them. But it's not if I lose in a cargo ship, they win everything. I lose everything in the sense of like the cargo. Obviously, we don't lose the ship. But what does the pirate lose if they lose? Just their time. They go to prison and that's it. They lose nothing. So there's this really big imbalance with that makes no sense. And I think that's, again, a lot of where the PvE versus PvP things come is there's just no consequence to these players. Like crimes aren't that much of a problem as far as like paying them off or going to prison. Uh, when the best thing to do is log off for the night because you were killed as a pirate, that's got to be horrible game design. Like,
Yeah.
just period, right? Like if the goal is like, all right, I'm in prison, guess I'll log off. I don't know how you look at that and go, good job, everybody. Ship it, we're good.
Yeah.
It's like it just doesn't make any sense to me. So again, playing a game like Eve, playing a game like Albion, it's the I risked this stuff to try to gain something. If I gained it, I gained it. If I lost it, damn, I lost a lot and it hurt. And yeah, I feel like we just don't have that at all, and it's not healthy.
I could not agree more. That was actually on the back of my mind. I wanted to bring up. It was like, yeah, attackers bearing none of the risk, and these.
Yep,
and
none of it.
It's not just Star Citizen. I see this in a lot of games. I think that is definitely a huge contributing factor to the sentiments around PvP. Like in Dune Awakening, same thing. If you want to go out and you mine that spice, your org is investing a ton of money into equipment and preparation and all this stuff, and you're going out into the field and you're deploying it. A PvPer can come along. They don't have to bring any equipment. They can just bring the stuff on their back, and they can wipe out all that investment, and they've lost nothing. Same thing in Ashes of Creation. Like Ashes of Creation, they have this caravan system. That's how you make money,
Yep.
right? I don't know if you played it. Have you?
Yeah, I have a key for it, but I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah.
But I just said to myself, I cannot test another
Yeah.
experience for them.
I know.
I really thought, like, based on everything they had said, I really thought the Alpha 2 was going to be way further along, way less. It was going to be more testing the systems and if they're fun a little bit more like closer to beta than it is now. And no thanks.
Yep.
I'll wait for a little while, but I'm familiar with the caravan system. So yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
Well, same thing. I mean, the person driving the caravan, they have to invest their glint and all the resources, and then the attacker comes along and they just blow it up, and or even if they fail and they die, it's like you said, well, they just respawn over there. They haven't lost anything.
Exactly, right, and it's that's not good. Like in Eve, you lose everything. You lose everything. So it has to make sense. So these guys that are just literal loot piñatas are flying around a space that they can be killed in, and people do not kill them because it's too expensive to do so. And unless you make yourself a really big loot pinata, you're gonna get left alone.
Yeah.
Because it'll never be worth the effort.
Yep.
We do not even remotely have that.
I know.
It's
That's what.
it's kill on sight because I'm bored out of my mind and there's no consequences.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Do you think that the co-op and the conflict zones that they're talking about? Well, I mean, we already have conflict zones. Do you think the co-op zones
Yeah.
are a good addition?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in a lot of like PvP discords and like I have a lot of PvP friends, and some of them were like cheering when they saw it come off the roadmap, or like get delayed or whatever happened. And it's like, guys, it's okay. Like this is what the player who doesn't want a PvP needs. You don't want to do any of this stuff, but just think about how much you dominated in Hathor at these PvP locations, the really good PvP orgs. Like I was a part of the first ever Wicklow Polaris turn-in, right? I did the mining for a huge PvP org in the game and really talented one, and they dominated, and we just played for a couple days and we did it. And a lot of players could not do that, right? Because they're not as skilled at PvP or as interested in it or whatever. Um, this sounds like it's for them, and good. I don't know if I'll like it. Maybe I will. I don't know much about what it is. The best example I can think of is did you do the Lazarus the worm yet?
Our group did, but I missed it.
Okay, well, there's a like a mech like garage,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a little tiny gameplay loop where you get a card at one of the first locations that you need to get keys at and stuff, and then that key can open a door that gets a battery, and then you put a battery in to another garage, and then there's two players that have to hit two separate buttons at the same time, like a little puzzle.
Okay.
And then that opens the door, and then you get the Ikti from that location. Um, that's what I assume it's going to be like, but more in depth. Just little puzzles and things like that. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah.
Right? It's totally fine. The only people who don't like that are sweaty PvPers, and it's like, okay, well, your entire game is you're able to do what you want in the entire world. Give other people things to do in a little thing on the side. I think it'll be okay, and you could kill them on their way out. There you go.
Yeah.
Whatever they get, you could take. I'm fine with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's good too. I think, yeah, like you said, my only issue with instanced content in sandboxes is I do get concerned where if you can extract like resources and value from instances, that instances may become the only way of acquiring said thing because it's safe. That's my only concern.
Yeah,
But I
for
don't know
me,
if
as
that's the
long as
case.
the instance, we don't know how it's going to work, but as long as the instance is in the open world,
Yeah.
so you enter it from the open world and you exit from the open world,
Yeah.
and you have to travel. Like the big thing for me with like piracy in Star Citizen is piracy shouldn't happen at the pickup and drop off locations like they do a lot now.
Mm-hmm.
It should happen as the travel in between.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then you can do whatever you want at these locations. I feel like when I'm moving cargo or when I'm maybe at these co-op zones doing a puzzle or something, I don't want to have to constantly be looking over my shoulder and wondering, oh, is a bomb going to drop on my head in a few seconds?
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah, I agree.
it's like I just want a brief reprieve from that. But the moment I have this valuable thing and I want to get it out, there's nothing more that I love about MMOs than the heart pounding moment of
Mm-hmm.
I got to get this thing to safety.
Yeah.
And so like you can get both. It's just um yeah, I think we're still going to get some angry threads for people who get killed in that, but it's I think it's the best way to do it evenly.
Yeah.
Where like you said, if I could just extract all that stuff from the instance right into my my home location, I don't know if that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, there's definitely no indicators that would be.
No, we don't even really know if they're going to be instanced, right?
Yeah.
Like that's still kind of speculation. Yeah. So
I know.
I would love it if they were. Just start on
Yeah,
that now because I think it's important to have them. But um, yeah, just don't do it bad.
yeah. The thought first crossed my mind on the whole instance resource thing back when I think it was last CitizenCon where they were talking about kind of curated space battles, instant space battles. That flag went off in my head, but
Yeah. I think you could do it in the way that they've done it sort of now, where it's like, I have a mission that is out in the middle of space,
hmm
and, like, maybe somebody can find me by scanning or something, but, um so it'd be, like, technically instance, but not really. It's like,
yeah,
I'm the only one who has the ability to get here via quantum marker, but if somebody is able to scan me down, they can. That's an Eve thing as well, right? But,
yep.
um,
I used to run those missions in Eve all the time.
yeah, that's after I first started, I mostly did exploration and I thought it was super awesome, so, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, instanced, did you ever do Siege of Orison?
Yes.
I mean, if there's any argument for an instance, it would be that, right? There's no reason to have to interact with any other people other than a group of 5
Very good point.
and just go through it and just enjoy it, and that's it. And the problem with that is it is at a home location, so everything would be safe to extract and stuff. So maybe the value of um loot, armor, whatever should not be super high. It should maybe be more storyline, quest line kind of thing, early game thing. But that experience alone is 10,000 times better than the experience with even an extra player that is not in your party. That's just like skipping ahead and doing content before you could get there. And the story isn't being told the way it should have been to you, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's needed. It's just it's how they do it is what'll matter.
I'll never forget my first experience with Siege of Orison because we had a group of, I think it was around 5 people, and we
Yep.
fought through all the bugs and the game breaking issues, and we're finally, all 5 of us are equipped, and we are on the transport vehicle, and we arrive at the place, and there's a couple other players standing on the platform, and they toss a grenade in there, and they wipe us all out.
Yep. For me, it was I got there and other people were killing the bosses, and all you got was a screen that popped up of the guy dying and saying something.
Yeah.
And it's like this thing is progressing and I have seen nothing.
Yeah.
It was just it Siege was literally the worst experience I've ever had in Star Citizen, period.
Yeah.
As far as like content that they've created. And but if it was an instance, it would have been one of the best. Easily.
Yep.
So I think they learned from that pretty quickly, and that's why they want to do instances. It's like, look at how good this was, but nobody got to enjoy it because some things should not be group play
Yep.
or open or whatever. And I think that that's one of them.
Yep.
Then you have Jumptown, very similar, kind of in a way, where just put a bunch of people together and just see what happens, and both are fine.
Yeah. Love Jumptown.
Yeah. See if it ever comes back.
For the past, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, I don't even know how long, it just seems like every MMO that comes out has the same trajectory of like, you get 1 million players on day one, 2 months later, you're at like a couple thousand.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be that way. Like, at least, maybe it's rose tinted glasses, but I mean, do you have any thoughts on why? Why they just all
Because
keep falling off?
there's nothing like the day one MMO experience.
Yeah.
Like I leveled 3 characters in New World
Mm-hmm.
because I did the fresh servers. I did the day like the launch and then 2 separate fresh servers. And there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
New World arguably sucks, but it was still awesome to do
Yeah.
the new like day one thing where everybody's racing and who's going to take control over I'm going to call it Everus, but it's begins with an E. The main city in the middle. I forgot the name of it. Whatever. People will know. But it was like, who's going to take over these, like, starting zones? And it was great. But I think that's probably why that happens is most people don't have the time to play that much. And as you progress in an MMO, it usually asks for more and more of your time. And I think that's where Eve does really well, is Eve just kind of gives out what you put into it, and it exists with you or without you. And you're not necessarily competing that much against other people. You're more just competing against yourself in a lot of situations. Obviously, there's wars and stuff like this, but the general content in the game is I'm just gonna go out there and do my own thing and see what I can do. And um, sometimes that is grouping up with other people, but for the most part, not so much. And I never feel like if I stop playing, I get behind. I started 20 years later, and I never felt like I was behind anyone really. Like there's certain things I can't do, like I can't fly the certain ships in the fleets for a big fight or something yet. I'm starting to get there now, but there was always options for a day one player that if you can't fly this, then you can fly that, and you could be here and you could take part. You're not going to be top damage, but you're here and you're taking part and you're something. But in a lot of MMOs, it's like, okay, you got to work through the main story quest and you got to level your character to max, and then the game starts. But then you find out that the game sucks and you don't like it at that stage because it's not what because you just started playing the actual game, and then you realize like you may not be into that. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think Star Citizen will suffer from that too much
One of the things
because
that draws
there
me
is
to
no
it.
start.
Yeah.
There is no start because of the pledge store, right? As far as the ships go, and it kind of it feels a lot like Eve in that sense. You kind of
Yeah.
just pop in, everything's going on without you, and you kind of just carve out whatever you want to carve out and get out what you want to get out of it. And just comes down to we'll see what this economy team does and so on and so forth, because that's very important in maintaining that for people. But I don't know if Star Citizen will suffer from it that much. If it does well on launch, it theoretically should hold on to a reasonable amount of those players because there is no early, mid, or end game, and I don't think there ever will be necessarily. Maybe, but I can't visualize it from anything that we've seen so far. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we
Well,
just did a space worm, right? And it seems like that's kind of like your dungeon bosses.
yeah.
Like, is it really going to go any harder than that? I don't think so. So, it might be more challenging, but yeah, hopefully more challenging. But yeah, I think that's the kind of content that they're going for.
That's the only kind of game I want to play anymore. I want to play the kind where I jump in or a
Yep.
friend can jump in 2 months after I can't or I do,
Yep.
and we can just go play together. Like I'm kind of
Yeah, it's not like, all right, brother, you can play with me once you leveled up.
yeah.
Like back to New World, man, like launch of New World, I played with a bunch of Star Citizen players, and like, dude, I had to go to work,
Yeah.
so we were all together on launch, but by the next day, it was like you got to catch up, and it's like, how do I catch up? I
Yeah.
can't. Even when they got to level 60, which is max, their item level was higher,
Yep.
and it was like I never caught up, and I never got to participate in any war fights or anything like that because I was never high enough level. And it
Yep.
was just like, why am I playing this? So yeah, that was the first time I quit.
From my perspective, that's a big part of it. That's a big
Yeah.
WoW, Final Fantasy, all these really successful games. They've popularized that kind of theme park vertical progression format, but I just don't think it's working for these newer games.
No.
Like
No.
all
I
the
mean,
ones
the
that come
one
out
thing
of
that
flop,
Star
they follow
Citizen
that model. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, 100%. But no, the one thing that Star Citizen might suffer from is it's so skill based. Like, if you're not an arena commander for 10 hours a day right now, you're trash compared to the better players. And it's like you can't even hold a candle to these guys. It is crazy how good they are. And I know that they're like a very small section of the community, but that will only um like exacerbate itself over time. The more people that play the game, there'll be more of those people. And that's the only thing it might suffer from, but I don't know how much of an effect that will have. It certainly will not have as much of an effect as like the New World example that we gave, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a thing that might happen is if you don't have enough time, you might not be able to, be in the big fights or whatever if that's what you want to do. But you should be able to do like the PvE content, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's always fascinating me about Star Citizen. I think it's the only game I've ever played, well, outside of Call of Duty, where it's the skill of the player
Yeah.
that drives the interactive game, not some point system.
Yeah.
Their
Hopefully
strength is
there's a
18.
little of that too.
Yeah.
Because why craft? Why farm? Why gather? Why do anything?
Yeah.
If there isn't some progression that you can make, but hopefully it's I mean, we don't want WoW where all of a sudden the damage numbers are like a billion on the screen and you're like, what is going on? This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Another
But
game recently that
yeah.
that kind of worked the same way and got me excited was PAX Day, but it's
Mhm.
I don't know if you know that was built by ex EVE Online developers.
No,
And
I didn't know
they're
that.
very much following the same model. It
Yep.
was interesting. But lately,
Yeah, they're more like they started out with this building stuff first, which is
yeah,
it was really cool.
yeah.
But I don't know what's going on with it now, so fill me in.
They're approaching release already. They're planning on releasing 1.0 in fall. I don't know
Wow,
if it's
okay.
ready. It feels to me
Yeah.
like they're running out of funding and they need funding, so we're releasing. So that's
Yeah.
concerning. But
Ah, that sucks.
we'll fingers crossed for them. I mean, they
Yeah,
did
it was a good
recently
idea.
implement a new combat system, so the combat's a little better. I mean, that's really their Achilles heel. It's just combat has not felt great in that game. But
Got it. Okay. What was another one that I was thinking about playing but never really jumped into? Mortal Online 2. That was from
never
like a
played it.
guy who was obsessed. He was obsessed with like UO and basically made UO, but in I think Unreal or something.
Yeah,
And it was cool, but I couldn't get into it. It's just again, it was that like, all right, I'm level 1, all my friends are level 30. I'm never gonna catch up, so why even start? So yeah. Star
yep,
Citizen has the advantage there for sure.
yeah. Along these lines of like these MMOs coming out, getting a bunch of players, losing a bunch of players, we're constantly seeing the threads and the videos and the content about MMOs are dying. Do you think there's anything
No.
to it, or do you think it's just
Well, I mean, the new kids aren't playing MMOs,
mm,
right? So what the people are literally dying that are that played MMOs. But um they're definitely not though, because every launch is huge.
yeah,
People are still looking for it. Like they want that MMO. I mean, holy crap, the like all the WoW players are playing old school RuneScape now. Like that was my little brother's MMO. He played so much old school RuneScape. And it's like people are still looking for it, man. They still want it. I don't think they're dead by any means,
mm-hmm,
but they're definitely not as popular as the most popular games now. I mean, WoW was probably the most popular game for a while, but that didn't last very long because the moment Dota and those things started getting made, it was like, oh, all the best things about this game in a very quick and easy to do experience, right?
yeah,
Well, maybe not all the best things, obviously, but the combat stuff, things like that. And then, yeah, I mean, StarCraft was super popular for a while. That whole genre is not dead either, but it's not as popular, right?
yeah,
Nothing's dead.
yeah,
Just there may not be 100,000 players playing anymore. Big whoop.
Yep.
Because most MMOs just have extra servers because they can only fit so many people. Okay, so now there's just one. Does that mean it's dead? If that server's popular, is it dead? I don't think so.
A really
And
good
now I
point. I
want to
mean,
look. I want to look up how many people are like on the official servers of Ultima Online. Like Atlantic was the popular server. Player count Ultima Online Atlantic in the low hundreds. No, no, okay, no. 3,000 people a day, and they're probably all on Atlantic. So maybe that's okay. But yeah, it's like, is that game dead? It's probably pretty close.
it's a good point though. Like if your
Yeah.
experience on a server is a good experience, it doesn't really matter how many servers there are.
Nope. No, as long as your server's good, it doesn't matter. But like again, we played New World and the constant
Mm-hmm.
getting moved into another one. That's not great either, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. But dead, I would never use that word.
Yeah.
Not yet. I think my generation has to die out. So like 30 more years before MMOs die. So I'm 40. So I'll be 70 then. That means a lot of the guys who played like MMOs that were older than me will probably not be able to use a mouse and keyboard anymore too much. And then that's probably when MMOs were dying. I think we got a lot more time with them.
Yeah.
3 more Star Citizen developments before
Let's just start
MMOs
measuring
die.
everything in Star Citizen development
Nah,
cycles.
nah.
Oh man, you mentioned OSRS, OSRS. I've never
Yeah,
played it, but I've been watching that the
neither have
game like
I.
enjoy some kind of a renaissance. It's been crazy, and
Yep.
that's another thing that
Yeah.
fuels my thinking about like this whole theme park versus sandbox, and like the longevity of sandboxes, like you mentioned, and not falling behind. It feels. I wonder if that's what's pulling people into the game like that, where they don't have to worry about falling behind. I've never played it, but I understand that OSRS is very much like that, more sandboxy, and you just kind of make your own path through the game.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I would have to ask my brother because again, he obsessively played it for a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of the stuff I saw him doing was leveling, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe just because he wanted to and that's what he liked. It's just for me, it just means that people still want to play MMOs really
Yeah.
bad, and they're just looking for the one that's going to be their daily. Everyone ends up hating the MMO that they play.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, but
Yeah.
it's their own doing. I think most people try to bite off more than they can chew, do more than they have time for, and then they get frustrated by it.
Yeah. Another
But
thing that comes up in these
yeah.
debates about the death of MMOs is always the cash stores, the pay for win, pay for skip, cosmetics.
Mhm.
Obviously, this is a controversial topic in Star Citizen. How
Yep.
problematic do you think it is?
Incredibly with Star Citizen. I think it's so bad. Uh, Eve is arguably a pay to win game.
Yep.
Star Citizen is arguably a pay to win game. The difference between the two is you go to the cash store in Eve and you buy credits, and those credits stay within the in-game economy, right? So your money translates into things that will spread out into the game and other players will interact with it. Um, if I buy credits in Eve and I buy a spaceship, I'm buying it from a player who built it. So it's less impactfully negative than it is in Star Citizen, where I pay X amount of hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. That ship stays in that person's possession forever. It is never destroyed. Nobody needs to replace it. And it it is it is economy breaking. It's
Yeah.
less game breaking than it is economy breaking. It is experience breaking. Where I remember Ultima Online, there were red dragons and then there were white dragons. And the white dragons looked so cool, and people would sit in the main hub. It was called Brit Bank, and they would just sit there with their dragons and be selling them maybe or just showing them off. And you just walk up to them and you go, "How did you get that?" And if they said, "Oh, I just went to the cash store and bought it," I'd be like, well, okay, that's lame. But if I saw a 890 jump and I said, "Holy, where did you get this?" And they said, "Well, I had to do this quest line for Origin to get a blueprint, and then it was a lot of ore and a lot of things components I had to put together to build it, but I built it and I did it all by myself, and it was super cool." And I'd be like, "Oh my god, is there a guide or something? Like, where do I go to figure out how to do this?" And then you go and do it, and it's an achievement. But when you know somebody swiped their credit card and got it, it doesn't feel like an achievement. And playing Eve very regularly now and playing Star Citizen for its entire existence, basically, you can feel the credit card purchases in Star Citizen. Like now more than ever with the Idris, like how many Idrises did they sell? And they're doing it again. Um, but in Eve, I don't feel it at all. Like I can't tell who paid and who didn't. I cannot tell, but I can in Star Citizen. And so yes, it's a problem, but maybe not as you paid to win, but it's like these people paid and it muddied the entire experience for everyone around them, including themselves.
Yeah.
So it's less like you paid and you beat me and I'm mad about it. It's more of like going back to like the beginning of our conversation is like, don't screw this up. You have an incredible opportunity here. This is actively screwing it up, in my opinion. And I get a lot of comments of, "Well, don't worry about what I'm doing, worry about yourself." And it's like, that's exactly what I'm talking about here, is your choices or your purchases, whether you think they affect you or not, are affecting everyone around you in a negative way. There's, like, almost no positivity to it except for the people who are actively joining your ship to just sit in a turret and do nothing, right? So, there's really not much good that comes out of it except for the ego for yourself. And it kind of sucks. Like, yeah, like we're never gonna get the day one MMO experience. And after that, you're never gonna get that dragon experience that I had in the first MMO I ever played. It was like, how did you get that? And that happened thousands of times in that game. How did you create this build for your character? Oh, well, I have to go to this dungeon and kill this thing to get this mount, and then I have to go over here to get this charm, and I have to go over here to get this thing. And there's you just go to Robert Space Industry. The game is played on robertspaceindustriescom. That's where it is right now. So it's like, yes, it's a problem, but not in the way that most people think it is.
Yeah.
Like the guy in the Idris doesn't win
Right.
every time, but he makes everyone else lose a little bit more. Everyone that's sold. And it's just bad. So that's my feelings on it.
Yeah, I've had a pretty harsh stance on in-game purchases for quite a while, even to the extent of like I regularly speak out about cosmetic purchases. A lot of people seem to be okay with it, but for
I'm
the same
cool with
reason,
it.
you're cool with it.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
feel like there's um it's really expensive to make games, apparently.
Yeah.
Right? Like we could see that. And I think as a player, you have to accept that it is really expensive to make games. And if they were like, all right, buddy, it's $100 a month to play Star Citizen. That's the only way it's gonna work. Who's gonna do that? Not a lot of people,
Yeah.
right? But if it was $10 here, $10 there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like that's obviously bad, but and not great for people. And some people are going to you know, abuse it or take it too far or whatever. Um, it's there has to be a balance between the developer being able to maintain the game and develop it and continue it going. And I think the only way to do that successfully is if it's done if the monetization like, if there's more monetization there than just like a subscription or something like that. I think Eve works really well, and you're buying in-game currency, you're buying uh like multiple character training things and a number of other things on their store. But again, they're not as impactful as ships, and they And even if they did sell you ships on the store, those ships can just be destroyed and they're
Yeah.
gone. So it's a little bit different, but I'd love to see that Star Citizen go in that direction. A subscription type model with a premium currency and then the rest cosmetics. But that's with the assumption that these things have, like, this monetization has to be there. Otherwise the game dies. And there's no way they'll be able to maintain it. I would love a world where I pay once and the game's there, or I pay monthly and I just play the game like I did Ultima Online. Because the developer is then incentivized to 100% make every minute in that game as enjoyable as possible for you to make that monthly payment feel valuable. It is a way better way to do monetization because they're forced to make a fun game. Where here, they're forced to make the spaceship that you buy feel fun, and it doesn't work. So, but yeah, you seem adamantly against everything.
Not everything. I completely
Okay.
agree that games need funded. They're expensive.
Yeah, of
I like you. I wish it could just be behind a subscription.
course.
Most of the community in Star Citizen seems to be very anti-subscription, but other games do it. I understand.
I don't get it.
Like, what's that?
I don't get why.
Yeah, I don't get it. I guess CIG
Yeah.
made a promise at one point, right?
Probably, but yeah, they also said that they weren't going to turn into an evil publisher, and I don't know. Look at them now. They've been trying to be like Blizzard for the last 10 years. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I just
so
think of it
what
like
about cosmetics? Do you not like?
exactly what you were describing with like the dragons, right? Like knowing what a person went through to acquire something. It used to be like that in all the MMOs that I play. Like I remember back in the day playing World of Warcraft Vanilla, and you'd see someone standing on a mailbox in the org and their shiny tier 2 armor, and you knew what they went through to get it. But now, most people are just sporting stuff they bought on stores. There's no association of effort with anything that you see.
Well, what if, because we heard them say a little something that I got really excited about, of we are going to separate the skin from the armor itself. So now it'll be like, Morozov armor, right? And they have like a bunch of different versions of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if Morozov armor was that tier 2 armor, right? That was like, I know what you went through to get it, Morozov itself. And then they just chose what it looked like. And they paid real money to make it. Okay. Well, hopefully that's what they do.
Yeah.
What my fear is they said we are going to separate the armor from the skin, but they didn't say that you can't buy the armor. Right? I love these guys, but I hate these guys sometimes. And that was the moment where I was like, I know what you did there. Everyone else fell for it. I fell for it in the moment, but I know what you're doing there. You're going to sell the armor still, and it's going to be locked on your account. The player's never going to lose it, and all the other dumb stuff that you said about insurance. And yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. I would be totally fine with all the ship purchases and everything they did if the moment that ship blows up, all you have is a blueprint, and you got to make it work after that.
I totally agree. Well, this takes me like 1.0. I mean, haven't they said they're not going to sell ships post 1.0?
Many years ago, but I can go back to 2015 where like a bunch of guys who watched my stream went to a bar citizen that Chris was at.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked that question. This was 2015. And he basically said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep the game running.
Yeah.
So good luck with ships not being sold anymore.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
so you mentioned blueprints. That's what I've been hoping. I hope they just sell blueprints. Go ahead and sell us the ships at full price. Make it a blueprint. Just something that forces it to traverse the economy, like you said with Eve. Yeah,
I mean, even in Eve, the blueprints are mostly or almost entirely seeded by the NPCs in the game. It's not like players are making the blueprints. So maybe that's fine. I don't know. It's just, you could sell the ship once, and if it blows up, then it's a blueprint. I'm okay with that too. It's just it's weird. I just feel like Chris and the team have their like sticky little fingers in everything, and they want to tell the story, and they don't want us tell the story enough. And it's like, just give us the canvas. You've given us the most beautiful canvas I've ever seen. I've
Mhm.
never wanted to paint on a canvas more in my life. And just let us decide what happens. All your stupid events have come out of things that we've done, like Jump Town. That was us painting.
Yeah.
And then you change the brush. It's like, come on, be a sandbox. I don't know what we are, but let us be a sandbox a little bit more. I think would be good. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. It's just that's the theme. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what new idea they have next.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah.
Is there any hot buttons we missed?
Mm, I don't know. Maybe
Any-
pay to skip stuff. Pay for convenience. Do we care about that? What does that even look like in a game with no skills?
Yeah, I don't know what that would even look like.
Yeah, I mean, I
In the
think that's what
vertical
the
games,
ships are
it's like,
about.
well, I'll pay not to have to level. Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
WoW, they both do that. But I don't know what you would do in Stars.
Yeah, you're paying to get to the actual game, which
Yeah.
is like
Yeah, let me play with my
seems
friends.
fair. Yeah, which like seems okay, but it's like kind of messed up that you created a problem and are paying to solve it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't trying to look at the list and see if there's anything else that maybe like content dripping, like
Mm,
like how WoW does it.
yeah.
Uh, we're kind of getting that, but it's not on the pledge store. It's not in the game really,
The pledge store.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the ships and stuff is like, oh, you know that Hornet that you had 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Yeah, that thing is it's now a collector's item. And this one has way more guns, so you're
Yeah.
gonna want that. It's like, oh wow, a new WoW expansion. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did with it. And it's like, no, don't do that. Um, that's one thing I hope we never see in this game. It's still happening with the ships. I don't think it's gonna stop, but I wish it did.
Yeah. Right now, it feels
Yeah.
like it almost feels like we're playing kind of a theme park content drip game, and just that, like, you get the player count fluctuations with each patch. Like, okay, well, this patch has the worm, and this patch has the zones, but I think that's just a byproduct of the state of the game. It's an alpha, it's still being developed, blah blah blah. I'm hoping by 1.0
Yeah.
it doesn't feel that way. I hope it feels more like Eve, because like Eve does not suffer from the content drip thing that
No.
I know of. I mean, you would know better than me, but when I played it,
No.
players were just playing all the time, doing their thing, and when new content came out in the form of maybe a new tech tier or new ship or whatever, like, it didn't really interfere with the game much at all.
No, and you most of the time, if you didn't want to do it, you didn't have to.
Yeah.
Right. And in this case, it's like it's kind of the same, but you don't like I hear people are going to do contested zones now because literally nobody's in Pyro and they're actually working because nobody's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Eve is like people just do their thing every day. Like there's too many things to do in Eve that like you have to dedicate your time to that if you went off and did some other thing for a while, it's like, well, you would lose your momentum actually in those things. Like if you're trying to make, I don't know, Tech 2 or even higher ships or components and things like that, like that's not a daily thing. That's not a thing that you do in a day. It's a thing that you do over the course of like, a long time. And I think that's the fun of it is like it's my you ever sit down and watch a show every night and like you're watching a season, you watch it one episode at a time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what an MMO is.
Yeah.
Right? You come home and you put on your episode for that day and you do whatever you're doing. And when the episode ends, you turn it off and you go to bed and you go do your thing the next day and you come back to it and you continue on episode 2. And that's what you do. And there's a lot of episodes in MMOs, right? If it's a good one. You got a lot of seasons. And
That's a good way of putting it.
yeah, and that's how it should be. And 13 years into Star Citizen, and they've made 2 episodes, basically, right? Like you don't, or a few. That's not fair, but like there's just not you don't have the ability to log in every day and things take time, but it's not, but it doesn't feel awful,
Yeah.
right? Like some grinds in games are horrible. Um, but like how Eve is it doesn't feel like a grind. It just feels,
Like you're
uh,
doing something.
yeah, and that's it. It's just like a part of your day. I don't know. It's very hard to for me to put into words because it is a grind, but it doesn't have any of the negative connotations of a grind to it.
Yeah.
The certain things that you're doing. So leveling in MMOs is horrible. It's always a grind. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah.
But the but it's also the best part on day one. So
Yeah.
it's I like that it's there and I hate that it's there. But it's yeah, I just in Eve I just haven't experienced that. It's been so nice.
One thing that
So
started to feel like a grind to me that I never expected to in Star Citizen was space trucking. I've always liked the space trucker role, but man, moving boxes has gotten pretty tedious. Hoping they do something about that.
yeah, I mean they have the system in some aspects of it where you can auto load and unload. I don't know how much of it you've done. It's quite nice
Yeah.
when it works. It's just done in commodity trading. They just need to have that in every aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it's like if you really want to save the credits and get max value, you can move all your cargo. I mean, the other thing I talk about this all the time, the fact that there is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 24, and 32 SCU boxes is absolutely insane. Like for cargo, I often don't like to use real world examples for video game things because people do that all the time. Well, in the real world, when this happens, you go to jail, and it's like, okay, but that's like the real world, and we're here playing video games. Like that's not what they don't go together, man. Like we can't do it that way. But like cargo, there's 3 sizes, but there's typically 2. It's 20 TEU is what every like cargo water ship is based off of, and it's like a 20-foot equivalent unit. But then most of them are actually 40, and they just count as each like the trucks that you see driving around. That is 2 TEU, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And that's what all these ships are based off of. This ship is just like how our SCU is. The problem with one standard cargo unit is it's too small. So like, I don't know if you're doing this event and moving 4 SCU boxes. I love the event. I love the cargo missions in the event.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like moving 104 SCU boxes. It's
Yeah.
horrible. But when I do the missions where it's like, oh, I'm just moving 332s, I'm loving it,
Yeah. I agree.
right? Because the tedious part is short, and the cargo hauling part, where you put on music, watch a movie, and you haul your cargo. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
If they ever do Eve career missions in or like career contracts that like I contract something to
Oh my
you,
gosh,
if
man.
if they do it like that, that's like
That
not
is like
all I'll do, but I'll really enjoy it. They do it so well.
I know. That was probably 50% of my time in Eve. Back when I played, I love
Yeah.
those missions.
Collateral being
Yeah.
a thing
Yeah.
is the coolest. For people that don't know, if like I put up a contract today, it was 1 billion credits worth of stuff. So I put up a mission for guys in my corp. Hey, can you move this from this station to this station for me? Because it's a dangerous route, and the really like long, high skilled players can move over long distances in one jump. It's almost entirely safe, like perfectly safe. So they can do that, and I just contract it to them. Um, and they can pick it up when they go, and yeah, it's like why wouldn't you do this? But then I put up 1 billion credits in collateral. So if they fail, I get paid the value of the stuff. So that's my insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hauler takes the risk, and then they're incentivized to turn it in because if they don't, they lose the collateral. So it's like, and if you screw up and put the wrong collateral in for the value of the stuff, then they'll steal your stuff, or they might hold it ransom and be like, "Hey, you meant to put 1 billion, but you put 100,000, so pay me 500 and I'll give it back." and stuff like that, and it gets kind of cool. So I love
Yeah.
that stuff. But yeah,
I love it. I want them to just copy that entire system.
yes, please, please,
Yeah.
please do. That would be the best thing. Um, but yeah, I see. Like, I don't know if you want to talk about cheating. It's on our list.
Sure.
I don't.
I was just going to bring it up. I mean, I guess really the big thing is like, do you think the response has been good?
Well, there's not as much cheating.
Yeah.
Or any that I've seen. There's always been. I think a lot of people don't know that. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen people flying around in Arena Commander, impossible to kill, one-shotting you, weird stuff. Like, that's where, like, it was funny. They were definitely testing their cheats, and then they saw my name on the thing. So I think they knew that I was streaming, and they were like, "Oh, I can't do this right now," and they immediately logged out. And I was like, oh, "Okay." It's like, I'm screenshotting this and sending it. But this is only going to get worse.
Yeah.
Like, the cheating doesn't mean anything right now because nothing in the game means anything. But
Right.
when things are turned on, if they actually matter, people are going to cheat. People are going to RMT. People are going to find any way to gain an advantage over anyone else. It's always going to happen. I don't know a game that doesn't suffer from some avenue of this. So it's just a matter of how much you let it bother you. Like, everyone was talking about the cheating. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. The game, like, they're gonna, if they don't, here's the deal. If they don't fix it, the game dies today. They don't fix this problem that they were having more recently, the game just dies instantly. It's over. Um, but like a game like Escape from Tarkov could have so many problems with it, but the game is still so strong that people don't even care. It's that fun that they'll suffer through it anyway. And it's up to CIG to make a game that people love that much.
Yeah.
And then it'll be fine. I don't that's my perspective on it. It's probably a bad take. I'm sure it is. But I just don't think it's like ever not going to be there, right? So
Yeah, I think it's a
you just
fair
have to
take.
live with it.
Yeah.
It's like being a streamer and complaining about stream sniping. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, the guy who stole my ship, he was probably stream sniping. Like, he knew where I was going to be. He knew what system I was in, right? Most likely. But am I mad that he used? That's my own fault. I'm the one showing my screen on the internet,
Yeah.
right? Like, I can't complain about that stuff. If I'm playing an online game that somebody can gain an advantage on, somebody's going to try and gain an advantage. And it's up to the developer to make sure it is not entirely experience it ruining, and that's all you can ask for, I guess. Like, do the best they can. I hope. Hopefully, it doesn't exist at all, but the reality is it will.
I couldn't agree more. Earlier, I didn't get to finish my thought whenever I said about how anti microtransactions I was, and
Mhm.
for a long time, I felt like the direction of Eve, where they always had Plex, and that always represented like
Yep.
the link between USD and game currency.
Yep.
And for a long time, I felt that was a big negative because it clearly made the game pay to win. But my thinking has evolved, and the other thing that really upset me was when they were allowed to start buying skill injectors. Like, really?
Yeah.
Now even character progression? But whatever.
Yeah.
But like, the more MMOs I see, and the more I see about like the in-game economies, and especially the player economies, the more I realize that like every game is pay to win in the end. It's just a matter of who you're paying. You're either paying the person making the game, or you're paying player organization. You're paying somebody. If you are willing to pay to win, there is somebody to pay.
Yeah.
And so I actually think that if games understand this and kind of support this in the way that Eve has, I think it can work against the cheating. I mean, cheating's still going to happen, but most
Yeah.
cheating is driven, in my understanding, most of it's driven by RMT. And so if you do anything to push RMT down, cheating goes down.
Yeah. I mean, this was Star Citizen's perspective from day one. They were like, they sell UEC now on the website. You could buy it now.
Really? I didn't know
It's
that.
it's the worst value ever. It is $10 for 1,000 UEC.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's horrible. So there's no point in doing it.
Yeah.
But I know people who have. There's like a limit per week that you can get it, and every week people hit that limit or whatever because there's just insanely ridiculous whales. And they're going to have 10, 20, 30 million on launch. They're not going to know how to play the game, so it doesn't matter. But again, like you said, like you're either going to give it to player organizations or not. What's really good about the things that you buy on the website with Eve is what I was saying is like there's the other aspect of the people who play the game a lot and play it really well and make a lot of money and put in a lot into Eve, you get a lot out, right? So you're going to get a lot of credits out, you're going to get a lot of items, cool things. And what I see them doing is, they're running 5, 10, I don't know, however many accounts. There's an incredibly awesome video if you guys are actually interested in like Eve's economy based on our discussion or something. It's from a YouTube channel called Oz_Eve or Oz Eve. And the thumbnail will say 75 trillion a month, something like that. That's how much this one guy, one player was doing. And he cornered an entire market in the entire universe in the game and talked about how he did it and everything. And the thing about that guy is I don't think he's swiping his credit card to subscribe to the game with these accounts or use skill injectors or anything like that. So all these things that are being bought on the website, you can get them from the player who's paying. You're winning because he's paying.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just this symbiotic thing that is so much different and in the weirdest way healthy.
Yeah.
In the weirdest way. And I hope Star Citizen takes a hard look at that because I could, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the amount of money revenue wise that Eve made last year is pretty high. It's up there, and they only have 200 people in their studio. I think it was like 60 million or 20 million. I think it might have been 60 million like Korean dollars because that's the company that owns them is Korean. But it was like 20 million, 30 million, something like that, and like profit a decent amount, or maybe it was 20 million in profit. I can't remember, but it was like a surprising number to me that a 20-year-old game is able to still be successful because the model makes sense for the players who are playing it.
I didn't realize it was Korean. I thought it was I thought they were Icelandic.
They are, but a Korean company bought them. The people who run is it Black Desert Online? I think the people who, it's called Pearl Abyss, owns them. And apparently they put Eve up for sale. So I don't know. But yeah, there's some other game like Crimson something they're making, and that game's doing really bad or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, they're owned by a Korean company now. They sold. But the studio is still in Iceland, and yeah. But
have you looked at the first person game they're working on?
I've played it. It's like almost entirely gray box, so it's like weird. But I kind of get it. Have you ever done PI in Eve or familiar with it?
Yeah.
It's like you're at the bottom of the space elevator. And like I think you're fighting to make sure those resources go up. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like taking you down to the planet in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be successful or not, but it was pretty fun so far. It was kind of cool. But it's still super early, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, on the cheating stuff, I mean, I don't know if you have anything else. But what can you do? It's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, it's a cat and mouse game, so I think your take is fair, where like we're always going to have some amount of it. It's mitigating it as much as possible. It's kind of like spam, and you're never going to get rid of it entirely.
Yeah.
All you can do is mitigate it.
Yep, and just make sure your game and your audience can live with it. If you can't live with it, I think Tarkov is teetering on the edge.
Yeah.
And but still alive. So
I think of every MMO I've kind of looked at and kind of studied the architecture of, like, I think Star Citizen has some of the best shots at mitigating it, just because of like their
skill,
their mesh, and all the stuff they're doing, and server side simulations. But whether they execute on it or not,
yeah, it also comes down to like what's the value of RMT. Like you said, like most of this cheating is going to be based off of RMT, right?
Yep.
Like, why would I cheat if it's not to make real money off of this game?
Yep.
You'll have the annoying people that are just there to be annoying, and
Yeah.
they'll be there, but they're going to be way less of a problem than the RMTers. And if they mitigate that well enough, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. So we'll
Yeah.
see. A lot of people freaking out. It's because you're bored. Like, Star Citizen people are just bored out of their mind. What are they going to
Yeah.
do other than complain, argue, blow things out of proportion, or take like the most amazing screenshots and say this is the best thing that ever happened to them? Because there's nothing else to do right now. Hopefully, one day it's guides finding hey, did you know this thing existed? Like something random thing that nobody ever knew, and it just 5 years in it was found, kind of thing. Stuff like that. That'll be super cool. But we'll see. I don't know. It's just I'm along for the ride, and I think out of all the games I've played, this one is still the most interesting, cool, and exciting because the experience of being in a ship, getting out of ship, landing on, walking on a planet, just defeats any experience I've ever had. And if you could just add these very obvious game mechanics from similar MMOs, it just would make it such a beautiful present, and that you'd want to unbox and just enjoy.
Could not agree more. Although during this discussion, you've certainly given me pangs of wanting to go back and play some more Eve again. So.
Nice. Use code SaltEMike now. But the yeah, I've been playing a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I streamed it for the first time in a long time today. Like, those are
Nice.
scary. It's like playing a different game on stream, but people resonated with it, so might be doing it some more. We'll see.
Cool. I'll have to check it
Yeah,
out.
man. Yeah.
Think we can wrap it up there?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on, SaltEMike. It was a great chat about all these topics that we read about every day on every forum.
Yep.
You want to tell folks where they can find you?
Sure. SaltEMike with an E instead of a Y, like down here. Everywhere, pretty much. I don't stream on YouTube or anything. Maybe I'll do that one day, but I stream on Twitch and I post to YouTube sometimes. And and I have a podcast with Kroncy every Sunday where we do similar things to this, talk about a topic or what's been going on this week. And yeah, so you can find me there. And I might be playing some Eve though, so don't get mad at me.
I'll probably check it out.
Sweet.
Spectacular. Thanks again, man. Well, so good to finally get to chat with you and have you on the show. And you definitely brought an interesting perspective on a lot of this stuff. Hopefully a little bit of civil back and forth will help temper some of those flames out there, huh?
I doubt it.
Probably not.
Especially with me. If they hear my voice, they get mad. But it is what it is.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in and joining us in this chat. Loved having you here and would love to continue the conversation with you all in the comments below. Until then, we're out.